This is in the Senate building, and we are on Senate time. I'm actually ahead of the game, and so I just want to make sure that, I'm glad somebody's laughing at that. Doug, if you want to, you and Kyle can head up there. No, that's okay. I was like, because, and folks, what we're going to do today, welcome to the first conference committee with our respective friends from the other body. And it's so nice to see that you guys are following the Senate tradition and wearing ties. I just want to just point that out. That is just nice to see. That is, don't they look good? And for coming across the street, nobody's laughing anymore. It's not funny.
Not funny.
I'm not funny. Here's what we're going to do today. So first of all, we'll do some introductions, and then after we do our introductions for the first 50 minutes, then we'll get into a talk on, we'll do a budget presentation. Both Kyle and Doug are here to do that, and then we'll get into a comparison, which Liam and Danielle and Sarah will do. Did I get that correct? And you guys can sure correct me if I want. And then that should lead to some conversation, and I think Elise Bailey's around too, just this, so we get an idea of kind of the essence of what we're looking at. And so then on Wednesday, Representative, I almost said Senator, Representative Noor will take public testimony and comments, and then we'll go from there, and you can kind of talk about what that is later. But I want to welcome you and your colleagues and everybody here to Senate Room 1200. And so with that, I'm John Hoffman. I'm the state senator from Champlin, Coon Rapids, Brooklyn Park, Dayton, and Rogers, and chair of Human Services. And I just wanted to say welcome to the Senate. So, Mahmoud Noor.
We have to get used to this switching on and off. Good morning, everyone. Mahmoud Noor, I'm the chair for Human Services Finance, and I'm excited to be here to hash out the differences between the House and the Senate. Looking forward to the conversation, and I will transfer to my CA.
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, Sean Herring, Committee Administrator for Human Services in the House. You going down?
Representative Peter Fisher, Chair of Human Services Policy in the House.
Danielle Pinelli from House Research.
Sarah Sunderman from House Research.
I'm Doug Berg. I'm a fiscal analyst for the Human Services Committee in the House.
And I'm Kyle Raymond, fiscal analyst for Human Services in the Senate.
Liam Monahan, an analyst with Senate Counsel.
Jim Abler, good morning.
Omar Fateh, State Senator, South Minneapolis, and also Vice Chair.
David Zak, Committee Legislative Assistant to Senator John Hoffman.
Kevin Parker, Committee Administrator for Human Services in the Senate.
Thank you. Any questions about what we're going to do today or processing? We're all good. Mr. Raymond, Mr. Berg, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. As I mentioned, I'm Kyle Raymond, fiscal analyst to the Human Services Committee. So today I have Doug Berg here with me, my House counterpart, and we're going to walk through the spreadsheet for the Human Services Omnibus budget. I'll kick things off just by briefly going over the document. The first page is largely summary information. After that, there's detailed information about the specific proposals. There are three sets of columns with fiscal amounts in them. The first is the biennial totals for the governor's revised budget. The center column is the House positions, and the right-hand column is the Senate positions. And just for everyone's reference, for page and line numbers, I'll be using the document dated April 28th at 11:45 a.m., which I believe should be in your packets. So to start, on lines 5 through 7, this is general fund appropriations. for all agencies, and looking to line 6 has the general fund base amount for this issue area, for this budget area, based on the February 23 forecast. The fiscal year 24-25 total is just over 12.7 billion, and the 26-27 total is just over 14 billion, and this is the same for both the House and the Senate. So next, moving to the next group of rows, lines 12 through 20 shows the total net fiscal impact for all human services bill agencies. On line 13, you can see the general fund totals for both the House and the Senate. I'll just note that the combined 23, 24, 25 totals for both the House and the Senate each equal the $1.3 billion target. And in the tails, they both meet the $1.55 billion target. So next, moving to lines 40 through 47, this shows the medical assistance spending contained within each respective bill by eligible category, with the total, cumulative total on line 47. The next set of rows show the each of the agencies contained in the bill and the total amount for each agency, and then also broken down by fund. So now moving on to the detailed proposal information, starting with the Department of Human Services. The first proposal included, and actually I'll pause there for a second. There's a couple notes I wanted to make before going into that. So if there is a pound sign, that means the proposal does not have a cost but has a budget impact. If there's no amount, if there's a 0 included for the bill or an NA, then the bill did not include that governor's proposal. And then I will move into the first proposal on line 119. This is a governor's proposal that modifies, makes modifications to the nursing facility case mix classification. So both the House position and the Senate position fund this at the governor's level of $117,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $70,000 in the tails. So moving next to page 2, the next proposal that's included in the bill, either bill, is on line 128. This is a governor's proposal that provides, modifies the reimbursement rate for tribal certified intensive, or I'll say EIDBI. So the House position and the Senate position both fund this proposal at the governor's level of $27,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $46,000 in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 132, this proposal funds a study for EIDBI comprehensive licensure feasibility. This proposal is only included in the House position and is funded at the governor's amount. Moving next to line 144, this is a governor's proposal that provides rate increases for positive support services. The House does not include this proposal, and the Senate funds it at the governor's totals of $891,000 in the 24-25 biennium and just over $2.1 million in the tails. So moving to the next proposal included in the bill, or either bill, is line 157. So this is a proposal, a Senate proposal that would fully phase in elderly waiver homemaker rates, as well as include an inflationary adjustment. This proposal is funded in the Senate position at just over $28.8 million and just over $49.9 million in the tails. So moving to the next proposal on line 161, this is both a governor's proposal and there was a Senate proposal as well related to increasing paid hours limit for personal assistance services that are provided by parents and spouses. So the House does not include this proposal. The Senate funds this proposal at just over $4 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over $7.3 million in the tails. So moving next, the next proposal included in either bill is on line 167. This is a governor's proposal that modifies labor market reporting to include direct support professionals. This proposal is funded only in the Senate position and is at the level of the governor's funding for the proposal of $678,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $654,000 in the tails. So moving next to the line 173, this proposal is included in the Senate position, which is Direct Support Connect and Disability Hub Data Evaluation and Outreach. So this proposal is in the Senate position at just under $1.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over $1.3 million in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 181, this is a governor's proposal that provides additional funding for the HCBS Innovation Pool. So this proposal is funded in the Senate position only at just under $4.4 million in the first biennium and just over $4.4 million in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 187, this is a governor's proposal that establishes a life sharing services benefit as well as implements family residential rate tiers. So the House only includes this position, and it is funded at the same level of the governor and results in a savings of just under $6.5 million in the 26-27 biennium. Moving next to line 192, this is a proposal that requires recommendations for establishing a life sharing services benefit. This is funded only in the Senate position and has a fiscal effect of $90,000 in the 24-25 biennium and is one time.
All right, and Mr. Chairman, I'll pick up on line 197 is a House-only provision in this bill for additional funding for licensing activities. I'll just note, this is a governor's recommendation, which is in Representative Pinto's portion of Senate File 2995, except for this part, which funds HCBS licensing staffing, which got moved over here. The Senate does not have that in either this bill or in Senator Wickland's bill. Moving on to line 203 is the corporate foster care moratorium exception. This is an item that Representative Noor put in. It's a House-only provision for $500,000 in 2024. Moving to line 207 is the governor's recommendation to implement a rate floor for ICFDD. The House picks up the governor's recommendation, the Senate does not, but the Senate does. We will come to the next item at the top of page 4 on line 212, which is the Senate's version of the rate floor plus a rate increase. The House also does a rate increase that we'll come to later in the sheet. So we have 3 provisions that do the same 2 things in the houses, although the rate increase is not the same, I believe. So on line 212, the Senate has $25.1 million in 24-25 and $25.1 million in 26-27 for the ICFDD item. Moving on to line 217 is the governor's recommendation for changes to modifications to the DWRS system for inflation adjustments. Again, the House picks up the Senate, the governor's item here of $71.9 million in 24-25 and $192.7 million in the tails. The Senate, however, well, you're gonna.
Yeah, the next proposal is on line 223. So this is the Senate's DWRS framework modification proposal. So this is Senate only and is funded at just under $111.4 million in the 24-25 biennium, excuse me, and just under $280 million in the 26-27 biennium. So the next proposal included on line 228. So this would allow respite services to be paid at market rate. This is included. This is a Senate-only proposal that's funded at $109,000 in the first biennium and $36,000 in the tails. The next proposal included is on line 232. This modifies the Employment Exploration Wage Index and is a Senate-only position that is funded at $228,000 in the 24-25 biennium, and then $448,000 in the tails. And then the next proposal included is on line 237. So this modifies shared services, and it's funded at a total of $417,000 in the first biennium and $43,000 in the tails.
And Mr. Chair and members, picking up on line 246 is the all three positions on Community First Services and Supports, which is also, which is what the PCA program will become. So this is PCA and ultimately Community First Services. The governor recommended $297.9 million and $478.1 million. The Senate picks up the same amounts as the governor's recommendation. The House has an enhanced position on the rates that costs $341.6 million in 24-25 and $547.9 million in the tails. Moving on to page 5, at the top on line 256 is the personal care assistant driving item, making driving an allowable expense in PCA. This was not a governor's recommendation, but both the House and Senate pick up the cost of the fiscal note at $1.7 million in 24-25. I'll just note that once CFSS takes over, that is an allowed service. That's why it only is in the first biennium. On line 262 is the HCBS provider increases for EWAC and ECS and CDCS budget increase. The governor's recommendation is $40.6 million and $99.5 million. The House has a different proposal I'll come to next. The Senate has almost the same proposal as the governor. They have the same, very close to the same numbers in 24-25 and just slightly less in the tails. That's $40.4 million and $96.7 million. And then on line 276 is the House's item, which is called Other HCBS Rate Increases. There are, I believe, 5 rate increases within this item, including all of the ones that are in the Senate and I believe one more. We have a supplemental sheet on that item on rates that we'll probably discuss in, I don't know, today or tomorrow. The House's provision costs $38.7 million in 24-25 and $58 million in 26-27. Moving to line 286 is the House's EW increase. We had already talked about the governor and Senate item previously. The House has a different rate increase, which results in spending of $264 million in 24-25 and $610.3 million in 26-27.
And Mr. Chair, members, so now the next proposal included is on line 296. This proposal implements a elderly waiver rate floor for disproportionate share facilities. And this is a Senate-only proposal that is funded at just over $10 million in the 24-25 biennium and $18.55 million in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 301, this is a proposal that provides funding for critical access nursing facilities. Both the House and Senate include this proposal, and it's funded at the governor's amount of just over $1.9 million in the 24-25 biennium and $2 million in the tails. So moving the next proposal is the Vulnerable Adult Act redesign. Both the House and the Senate include this proposal, and I'll stop here because this is the one example of, and there will be many in subsequent proposals where grant the total funds more funds were made available in the first biennium, and the funds will be for grants, and those funds will be available through fiscal year 2027. We'll attempt to note those as we go through, so you can see on line 305 for this proposal, the House funds this proposal at just over roughly 50.2 million in the 24-25 biennium, and the Senate funds this proposal at roughly 53.7 million in the 24-25 biennium. And you can see the kind of differences with the governor's proposal, which was funded at about just over 25 million in the first biennium and 28.6 in the tails. So then moving next to a line 314, this is the proposal that establishes long-term care workforce grants for new Americans. This is another example of the grant funds being provided in the first biennium, but being available through fiscal year 2027. So both the House and Senate include this proposal, but funded at different amounts. The House funds the proposal at just over 40.7 million in the 24-25 biennium, and the Senate funds it at just over 21.2 million in the 24-25 biennium.
Mr. Chair and members, the next item is a House-only item that is somewhat similar to the previous one. This is the Supporting New Americans initiative. This is actually Representative Fisher's bill. And this provides 11.2 million in the first biennium for supporting new Americans in a variety of ways. It also has carry forward authority, as Mr. Raymond noted, in a lot of places here where we spent money in the first biennium but allowed it to carry forward.
Mr. Chair, members, the next proposal is on line 329. So this provides ongoing funding for the provider capacity grants for rural and underserved communities. This is a governor's proposal. Both the House and Senate fund this proposal, but at different amounts. The House funds the proposal at 25.9, just over that 25.9 million in the 24-25 biennium, and the Senate funds it at just over 15 million in the 24-25 biennium. So moving next to line 336, this is the governor's proposal that provides additional funding for research on access to long-term care services and financing. This is a governor's proposal that both the House and Senate pick up, and I'll note here the total funding for the 24-25 biennium is $476,000, and the House funds it in 2024, and the Senate funds it in fiscal. Oh, actually, I apologize. They're both in fiscal year 2024. So moving next to line 341, this is a proposal that provides ongoing funding for community grants. This proposal is a governor's proposal that is only included in the House position and is funded at just over 3.7 million in the 24-25 biennium. So moving next to line 347, this is a governor's proposal that provides ongoing funding for technical grants. This proposal is a governor's proposal that's funded in the House position only at a total of just 2.46 million in the 24-25 biennium.
And Mr. Chairman and members, picking up on line 355 on page 7, is the Waivered Services Accessibility Study. This is the governor's recommendation that both the House and Senate pick up at the governor's recommended level. On line 361 is the governor's recommendation on the HCBS case management training curriculum. This is also carried by both the House and Senate at the governor's number. On line 367 is the governor's recommendation for technology for home grants, which is also picked up in both the House and Senate at the governor's number. And then line 373 is establishing temporary grants for customized living. This is a governor's recommendation which is done the same, is funded the same level as the governor in the Senate bill, but the House has $10 million rounded for that provision as opposed to the governor's recommendation or the Senate bill. On line 380 is a Senate-only item for the brain injury and community access disability inclusion customized living rate. However, I believe this item is included with a different rate that the House has. And this is a standalone item for the Senate, but the House does deal with the same issue. In this case, the Senate is spending $13.9 million in 24-25 and $33.1 million in the tails. On line 384 is a recommendation from the governor to establish assisted living facility closure payments. The Senate picks that up at the governor's level. The House does not have that item.
So, Mr. Chair and members, moving next to line 390, this is a governor's proposal that establishes lead agency employment capacity building grants. This proposal is a governor's proposal that is included only in the House position and is funded at the governor's levels of just over $5.9 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over $9.3 million in the tails. So moving next to line 399, a governor's proposal for min-choices modification and support plan funding. This proposal is included in the House position only and is funded it's a governor's proposal and is funded at the governor's level of $813,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $650,000 in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 404, this is a governor's proposal related to funding employment first interagency collaboration. This proposal is included in the House only and is funded at the governor's amounts of $378,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $349,000 in the tails. So the next proposal is on line 410. This is a governor's proposal related to the sub-minimum wage and employment outcome data collection. This proposal is funded in the House position only and is funded at the governor's levels of $449,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $578,000 in the tails. The next proposal is on line 416. So this is a proposal related to employment as special minimum wage under 14C certificate. This proposal is included in the Senate position only. Moving to the next proposal on line 418, this is a governor's proposal related to funding disability inclusive worksite training and certification. This proposal is funded in the House position only at the governor's amounts of $415,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $380,000 in the 26-27 biennium.
And Mr. Chairman and members, beginning on line 424 on page 8 is the governor's recommendation for the min-choices operational budget increase. The Senate picks that item up at the governor's recommended level. The House carries that item, but at a lower amount. The Senate spends $33,721,000 and $4.04 million in the tails. The House's expenditure is $2.1 million in 24-25 and $2.25 million in the tails. On line 430 is the governor's recommendation on MA presumptive eligibility feasibility study. The Senate did not pick up that item. The House has picked up the governor's item but has moved all the money into 24-25. So the House is carrying $1,347,000 in the first biennium only. Moving on to line 436 on page 9 is a recommendation on HIV/AIDS support services funding. The House funds that at $24.2 million in 24, and the Senate funds it at $10.1 million in 24. This is another item where the language in the bill provides carry forward authority. On line 440 is the governor's supplemental recommendation on an acute care transition item. Neither the House or Senate picked that up. I guess I could have skipped that. On line 462 is the governor's recommendation on improving the quality of substance use disorder treatment and addressing administrative issues in that program. The House and Senate pick up this item at the governor's recommended level of $2.248 million in 24-25 and $2.412 million in 26-27. Moving on to line 476 is the changes to the opioid epidemic response advisory council membership. This is the governor's recommendation, which is picked up only by the House. On line 480 is an item on ORAC grant distribution requirements for certain cultural initiatives. Again, as Mr. Raymond mentioned, this is a fiscal related item which does not have a specific cost. The hashtags indicate that the governor and the House are including this item. The NA indication in the Senate indicates that the Senate is not including this item. Moving on to page 10, line 482 is the recommendation on ongoing funding for traditional healing grants. The governor, House, and Senate are all the same at $2 million in the 24-25 biennium and $4 million in 26 and 27. On line 486 is the ongoing funding for the overdose prevention grant recommendation. The House and Senate both pick up the governor's recommendation at $100,000 in 24-25 and $200,000 in 26-27. On line 490 is the technical correction. Members probably are aware that chapter 99 of last year had a technical error in it, a reference that has already been fixed in this year's reviser's bill. There is a difference in there on tracking. The House is showing, I think the governor's item is not tracked quite correctly here. This money is in fact already gone. I mean, the law is passed and it's going out. So the House is carrying the amount of the grant, which should have gone out previously, but now is going out. The Senate's just showing hashtags that it's included. We just have a difference in the way we're showing it here, but it is in law and it's working. I mean, there is no issue. On line 494 is the language to remove the sunset on fees from opioid manufacturers and distributors. The House picks up the governor's language, removing that sunset. The Senate does not include that item. And on line 496 is a House-only item related to child protection grants, and this is really administrative funding around child protection grants related to opioid issues. The House spends $598,000 in 24-25 and $642 in the tails, and again, that's a House-only item. I keep going. Okay. On line 500 is the competency-based training funding for substance use disorder provider community item. All three parties pick this up. The Senate does it in the same years and amounts as the governor, $606,000 in 24-25 and $636,000 in the tails. The House provides $600,000 in 24-25 only on this item. On line 506 is the Family Treatment Startup and Capacity Building Grants item and working group. Again, the Senate has picked up the funding in the same schedule and amount as the governor, 10.6 million in 24-25 and 640,000 in the tails. The House is funding this item, but has moved all the funding into 24-25, and again, there is carry forward language in there, but the House funded it all as one-time funding. On line 514 is the opiate antagonist training grants for naloxone. The governor has a recommendation of 3.286 million in 24-25 and 3.306 in the tails. The Senate picks up that same item. There is, however, in the House side of the Senate File 2995, there's an item which I believe relates to the same issue, which is the Steve Rumler Foundation recommendation in that bill. Line 519 is the governor's recommendation on substance use disorder public awareness campaign. Again, the Senate picks it up in the same schedule of appropriations as the governor, 600,000 in 24-25 and 600 in the tails. The House has again moved this all into the first year with carry forward authority. Moving on to page 11, line 523 is the overdose surge alert system. This is a governor's recommendation. Again, the Senate picks it up in the same appropriations schedule as the governor, 359,000 in 24-25 and 372,000 in the tails. The House has again on this item moved all of the money into the first biennium with carry forward authority. On line 529 is the governor's recommendation for safe recovery sites. This is the House picks up the governor's item and again moves all the money into the first biennium with carry forward authority. The Senate does not pick up this item at all. And on line 538 is the harm reduction and culturally specific grants recommendation from the governor. The Senate again does this on the governor's appropriation schedule at 1.2 million in 24-25 and 1.2 million in the tails. The House has a significantly higher amount of money for this and has put it all in 24-25 with carry forward authority.
So, Mr. Chair and members, the next proposal is on line 544. This is a governor's proposal providing funding for technical assistance for culturally specific organizations. So both the House and the Senate pick up this proposal and fund it at just over $5 million for the 24-25 biennium, and there's carry forward authority for that one as well. So moving next to line 551, this is a governor's proposal providing ongoing funding for recovery community organization grants. So this proposal is picked up by both the House and the Senate. I believe both with carry forward authority, and the funding for the House is $4.3 million in the 24-25 biennium, and the funding in the Senate position is $6 million in the 24-25 biennium. Moving next to line 560, this is a governor's proposal that provides additional funding for training the peer workforce. This proposal is included in the Senate position only, funded at $4.25 million for the 24-25 biennium. So moving next to line 565, this is a governor's proposal that provides funding for culturally specific recovery community organization startup grants. So this proposal is included in the Senate position only at a total of just over $4.4 million in the 24-25 biennium, and with carry forward authority as well. So moving now to page 12, the next proposal included in either bill is on line 576. So this is a proposal that related to eligibility modification for recovery community organizations. So this proposal is funded at $299,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $408,000 in the 26-27 biennium. The next proposal included in either bill is on line 581. So this is the governor's proposal that includes counties as eligible vendors of medical assistance peer services. So this proposal is included in the Senate position only and is funded at the governor's amounts of $170,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $270,000 in the 26-27 biennium.
And Mr. Chairman and members, beginning on line 585 is the governor's recommendation on sober housing regulation and consumer protections. This House has picked this up, but not the Senate. It spends $407,000 in 24-25 and $642,000 in the tails. On line 592 is the governor's recommendation to expand the Project ECHO program. The House and Senate both picked that up at the governor's level and in the same schedule of appropriations for $536,000 in 24-25 and $800,000 in 26-27. On line 599 is an additional Project ECHO item at Hennepin Health Care. The House, this is not a governor's recommendation, the House funds that at $2,040,000 in the first biennium only with carry forward authority. The Senate picks up this item and funds it at $2,923,000 in 24-25 and $3,208,000 in the tails. On line 605 is the opioid treatment program rate methodology recommendation from the governor. Both the House and Senate picked this up at the governor's recommended funding level and in the same years. That is $746,000 in 24-25 and $702,000 in 26-27. Moving on to page 13, on line 615 is the medical assistance demonstration waiver study. This is a governor's recommendation, which again, the House and Senate pick up in the same manner as the governor. $616,000 in 24-25 and $224,000 in 26-27. On line 621 is the governor's recommendation on startup and capacity building grants for withdrawal management. The House does the same funding and timing as the governor at $1.7 million in 24-25 and $2.2 million in 26-27. The Senate funds $3.932 million in 24-25 and I believe has carry forward authority as well. On line 627 is the governor's recommendation that direct care and treatment become a separate agency. The House picks up that item in the same manner as the governor, $7.832 million in 24-25 and $7.536 million in 26-27. The Senate does not include this item. On line 634 is the direct care and treatment program modifications recommendation from the governor. I will note the Senate picks up this item in the same fashion as the governor, which makes it a net zero cost or savings to the general fund. The House, with some advice from the department, did not do some of the appropriations back of this, resulting back to the agency, resulting in a savings because effectively we're scooping the enterprise revenue here and putting it towards the general fund and saving money. I believe I am aware from the department that we need to adjust this item slightly. I think we can work it, but not quite the way it is in the House's numbers.
And Mr. Chair, members, the next proposal is included is on line 647. So this is maintaining current service levels for direct care and treatment. This is the governor's proposal, and both the House and Senate pick up. The Senate funds it at the governor's amounts of roughly just under 99.7 million in the 24-25 biennium, and just over 116.8 million in the 26-27 biennium. The House funds it at a slightly reduced amount in the 26-27 biennium of roughly 110.9 million, and is the same amount in the 24-25 biennium. So moving now to page 14, the next proposal is the direct care and treatment electronic health record system proposal. That's a governor's proposal and is included in both the House and Senate positions. The Senate funds this position at the governor's amount of just over 25.9 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over 22.2 million in the tails. The House funds the proposal as one-time funds of just over 48.1 million in the 24-25 biennium. So moving next to line 662, this is a governor's proposal that funds an operating deficiency for direct care and treatment in fiscal year 2023. The total amount is 4.829 million in the governor's, and the House and the Senate both funded at that amount. Moving next to line 666, this is a proposal that modifies the MAEPD program and as well as makes conforming changes. Both the House and the Senate fund this proposal at the governor's amounts of $250,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $84,000 in the 26-27 biennium. Moving next to line 670, the House includes this governor's proposal that establishes Medicaid sectionable behavior standards for unsafe opioid prescribing practices. The House funds this position at the governor's amount of $272,000 a biennium ongoing. The next proposal included in either bill is on line 675, and this proposal repeals the opioid prescribing improvement program that is currently in statute. The repeal of that program creates a savings of about $89,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $172,000 in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 689, the next two proposals relate to non-emergency medical transportation. And on line 689, this is a rate increase for NEMT. This proposal is funded in the Senate position at just over 10.6 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over 15.7 million in the 26-27 biennium. The next proposal on line 695 makes provides fuel adjustments for NEMT and ambulance services. This is included in the Senate position only and is funded at roughly 1.98 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over 1.7 million in the tails. So moving to the next proposal, it's included on line 705. This is a governor's proposal related to funding, improving the MA experience for people with disabilities. So this proposal is funded in both the House and the Senate position. The Senate funds the proposal at the governor's amounts of just over 8.5 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over 5.9 in the 26-27 biennium. The House funds it at roughly the same amount in the 24-25 biennium of just over the 8.5 million, and then funds it at just over 1.2 million in the tails. So moving next to line 177, this is both a governor's proposal and there was a Senate file as well that makes changes to the MA enteral feeding product rate methodology. So this proposal is funded in the Senate position only at just over 3.3 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over 5.1 million in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 719, this is a proposal related to modifying the MA income and spend down limits. So this proposal is funded in the Senate position at 5 million a year ongoing. Moving next to line 723, this proposal modifies community residential setting licensure requirements and is funded in both the House and the Senate position. positions, and is funded at roughly the same amount. There's a $1,000 difference between the two, but it's funded at $316,000 in the first biennium and $330,000 in the tails. So moving next to line 730, this is a proposal that establishes a hospice respite and end-of-life care MA benefit for individuals that are under 22 years of age. This proposal is included in the Senate position only and is funded at $159,000 in the 24-25 biennium and then $190,000 ongoing. So moving next to line 735, this is a proposal that increases rates for home care services. This proposal is funded in the Senate position only at just over $64.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over $99.5 million in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 742, this is a proposal that establishes HCBS Workforce Incentive Fund grants. So this proposal is included in both the House and the Senate position. The House funds this at just over the Senate funds this at just over $41.2 million in the 24-25 biennium, and there is carry forward for those grants, but and then there is also an ongoing portion for those grants, and the funding in the tails is just over $6.1 million. The House funds this at just over $35.6 million in the 24-25 biennium, and I believe there's carry forward authority for that one as well. And I'll just note here, there is a separate cost in the Senate position related to this later, which I'll cover at the end. So moving next to line 749, this is a proposal that provides ongoing funding for caregiver respite grants, as well as makes modifications to the essential community support essential community support program. So this is funded in both the House and the Senate position. The House funds this as a one-time funds of $2 million in the 24-25 biennium, and the Senate funds it at just over $6.8 million in the 24-25 biennium, and also has some ongoing costs of roughly of about $32,000 per year, starting in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 758, this proposal eliminates parental contribution fees under the TEFRA option. So this proposal is included in the Senate position only and is funded at just over $21.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and $26.75 million in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 766, the next proposal is MAEPD premium modification and asset limit elimination. So this proposal is funded in the Senate only at just over $78.3 million in the 24-25 biennium, and then just over $154.4 million in the 26-27 biennium. Moving next to line 774, this is a proposal that establishes a funding mechanism for a program, for the PACE program. This is funded in each the House and the Senate position at $256,000 in the first biennium one time. However, this is the example where it's funded in fiscal year 2024 in the House and funded in fiscal year 2025 in the Senate. So moving next to line 780, this is a proposal that provides funding for the emergency grant program for autism spectrum disorder treatment agencies. So this proposal is included in the Senate position only and is funded at roughly $21.15 million in the 24-25 biennium, and there's carry forward authority for this one as well. So moving next to line 786, this is a proposal that provides a rate increase for Fergus Falls nursing facility. So this proposal is funded or included in the Senate position only and funded at $412,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $603,000 in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line on page 17, line 792. This proposal provides property rate payment increases to certain nursing facilities, so they'd be receiving an increase. So this is included in the Senate position only and funded at $695,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $875,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And I'll note with this one, the nursing facilities covered are those with a project approved prior to January 1st, 2020, but were not completed by January 1st, 2020. And according to the fiscal note, this applies to 3 nursing facilities, Chosen Valley Care Center, Ling Bloomston Care Center in Ramsey County, and Viewcrest Health Center in St. Louis County. So moving next to line 796, this is a proposal that provides a property payment rate increase for the Chisholm Nursing Facility. This proposal is funded at $106,000 in the first biennium and $112,000 in the 26-27 biennium, and it is a Senate-only position. So moving next to line 800, this is a proposal that provides a rate increase for the Red Wing Nursing Facility. So this proposal is funded in each, both the House and the Senate position. The Senate funds it at $249,000 in the first biennium and $461,000 in the 26-27 biennium. The House funds it at that $249,000 in the 24-25 biennium, but is one time. So moving next to line 804, this proposal provides a grant to Boundary Waters Care Center Nursing Facility. So this proposal is funded only in the Senate position and is a one-time, has a one-time fiscal effect of $250,000 in the 24-25 biennium. So moving next to line 808, this provides a nursing facilities rate increase, a total payment rate increase, and is included in the Senate position only and is funded at just over $74 million in the 24-25 biennium and just under $47.4 million in the 26-27 biennium. So moving next to line 812, so this proposal provides grants to nursing facilities. This is included in the House position only and is funded at a one-time expense of $20 million in the 24-25 biennium. So moving next to line 816, this provides funding to establish a Live Well at Home grants. This is included in both the House and the Senate position. The House funds this at just over $4.9 million in the 24-25 biennium, and I believe there's carry forward for this proposal. And the Senate position funds this at the same proposal at $63 million in the 24-25 biennium and also has carry forward authority. So moving next to line 825, this is a proposal related to the county costs liability for civilly committed persons being discharged from, I believe, from DCT facilities. The Senate funds this position only, and it is funded at roughly $6.6 million in the 24-25 biennium, and that same amount ongoing. And I'll note with this, the state share and the state and the county share would each be 50% of the total cost that is currently covered by the counties at 100%. So moving next to line 829, this proposal provides, it's an appropriation for the senior nutrition program, an additional program or appropriation. So this is funded in both the House and Senate position, and the House funds this at just over $4.9 million in the 24-25 biennium. The Senate funds this at $32 million in the 24-25 biennium, and I believe both of those have carry forward authority. So moving next on page 18, line 835, this is a proposal that funds a supported decision-making grant program establishment. This is funded in the Senate position only at a total of just over $4.5 million in the 24-25 biennium. And I believe this is a one-time. Funds would be available through fiscal year 2025. The next proposal is on line 842. This proposal provides Crow Wing supplemental housing support rate for new housing support provider. And this is funded at, in the Senate position only at just under 1.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and just over 1.6 million in the 26-27 biennium. And I'll just note here, the next two proposals also relate to the same topic and are just affect different providers. So moving next to line 846, this is a supplemental housing rate, allowing a supplemental housing support rate for a new housing support provider in Douglas County, and this is funded at $971,000 in the 24-25 biennium and just over 1.3 million in the 26-27 biennium. Moving next to line 850, so this similarly provides the supplemental housing support rate for an existing housing support provider in Douglas County, and this proposal is funded in the Senate position only at $222,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $232,000 in the 26-27 biennium. Moving next to line 854, this proposal establishes a direct care service corps pilot project. This is funded in both the House and the Senate position at $500,000 one time in the 24-25 biennium. So moving next to line 858, this proposal provides an appropriation for White Earth Nation for a digital therapy tool. This proposal is funded in the Senate position only at just over 4.1 million one time in the 24-25 biennium. Moving next to line 864, this provides funding for the Wellness in the Woods. This is a grant for daily peer support and as well as special sessions. So this is funded in both the House and Senate position. The House funds this proposal at $600,000 one time, and the Senate funds it at $200,000 in ongoing, $200,000 per biennium ongoing. Moving next to line 868, this proposal provides funding for self-advocacy grants for persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So this is funded in the Senate position only at $646,000 per biennium ongoing. Moving next to line 873, this proposal provides funding for the Family Enhancement Center for community-based social engagement and connection programs. So this proposal is funded at $400,000 per year in the Senate position ongoing and is not carried in the House position. So moving next, now on page 19, line 877, this provides funding for a direct service professional employee-owned co-op program, and this would be through a grant through the Metropolitan Consortium of community developers. This proposal is funded in the Senate only at a total of $350,000 in one time. So moving next to line 881, this proposal provides a grant for the parent-to-parent program. So this proposal is funded in both the House and the Senate position. The Senate funds this at $150,000 per biennium ongoing, and the House funds it at $1.25 million one time in the 24-25 biennium, and I believe this has carry forward authority. So moving to the next proposal on line 885, this proposal funds a study, provides a grant to the Mayo Clinic to their motion analysis advancements department for a study. This proposal is funded one time in fiscal year 2024 at a total of $400,000 and is in the Senate position only. Moving next to line 889, this is a proposal that funds Anoka County Community Services complaints of noncompliance. This proposal is funded one time in fiscal year 2024 at a total of $10,000. Moving next to line, I believe that's 893, this proposal would fund for the Department of Human Services to do a regulatory review with small assisted living facility owners. So this proposal is funded in the Senate position only and is a one-time fund of $150,000. Moving next to line 897, this proposal provides grants for assisted living facility rent increases. I believe it would be for those facilities that have experienced a rent increase of over 10%. I believe in the prior year would be eligible, and this proposal is funded at a one-time amount of $500,000 and is in the Senate position only. The next series of proposals relate to budget-related items without a direct fiscal impact. The exception of the first one, the net effect for the 23 through 25 amount is 0 for this one. So this first one is on line 903. This is a grant cancellation and carry forward for research on access to long-term care services and funding. So you can see the cancellation of $300,000 in the fiscal year 2023 and then reappropriated in fiscal year 2024. The next two proposals on line 905 and 907 relate to HCBS workforce development grant eligibility. So this change was originally included in the Department of Human Services policy bill. It was flagged as having a potential fiscal impact and was included subsequently in this bill. And it was flagged as having a fiscal impact because it expanded eligibility, but it does not carry costs. So for these two, the House does not include this position, or excuse me, does not include this proposal, and the Senate does. So moving next to line 909, these are modifications to the adult foster care moratorium. These changes are carried in the Senate and not the House. Similarly, line 911, this provides an exception to the customized living settings moratorium, and this is included in the Senate position but not in the House.
And Mr. Chairman and members, picking up on line 913 is a House-only item, which is for an opioid treatment program study. That is $17,000 in 24 and is not carried by the Senate. On line 20 is a series of House-only items. On line 918 is $350,000 in 24 only for a hospital decompression study. On line 923 is $43.8 million in the House only for systems, IT systems issues at DHS. Line 927 is a appropriation for a community behavioral health center, which is $1.598 million. This is the, I believe, Mankato State. This does relate to items in the in Senate File 2995 as well. On line 933, the House is carrying $1 million grant for the Minnesota Volunteer Alliance. That is not in the Senate position. However, again, there are items in Senate File 2995, the Wickland and, in this case, Liebling portion of that bill. On line 937 is an item related to naloxone training, which is $500,000 a year in 24-25, which is a House-only position, although earlier there was a naloxone training item which is in the Senate position, but this is a similar issue but in a different language. On line 941, the House has $3 million one-time grants for an African-American child wellness facility. This also is related to an item in Senate File 2995, but is not picked up by the Senate in this bill. Line 945 is funding of a Native American Elders Coordinator position. The House funds that at $600,000 per biennium. I should note, my understanding is this is a position that was authorized quite a long time ago, but never funded. The House funds this position, but it isn't creating a new position. And on line 950 is the Office of the Ombudsperson for Long-Term Care. The House funds this at the governor's recommendation of $1 million per biennium, which I believe adds 7 ombudspersons to and the Senate funds that at a higher level of $3.793 million in 24-25 and 4.098 in 26-27 for 12, is that correct? Position?
I believe it's 17 positions.
17, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, 17 positions. A similar item, but the Senate is doing more of it. And then getting to, that's the end of DHS. Beginning on line 1096 are the other agencies. The Council on Disability, the House funds at 2.108 million in 24-25 and 1.988 million in 26-27. That's the governor's recommended amount. The Senate funds it at a slightly higher level, a slightly lower level in the first biennium of 2.027 million, but a slightly higher level in the tails of 2.494 million. And that, again, I think is a difference in FTEs that are in, how many FTEs and in which biennium. Moving on to page 21 on line 1107 is MMB. There are a couple of things going on in here. The Office of Addiction and Recovery and then the Office of Youth Substance Use. And then in the Senate position, the Office of Addiction and Recovery, an additional FTE. The House funds that at $2 million per biennium, which is slightly higher than the governor's level. The Senate funds it at $1.8 million per biennium. And again, there is mainly a difference on the FTEs. Really, the House, funds the Youth Substance Use and Addiction Recovery Office straight up, and then the Senate funds FTEs at a slightly lower level of $300,000 per biennium. And on line 1113 is the Ombudsman for Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities. The House funds that at the governor's level of 2.013 million in 24-25 and 2.216 in 26-27. The Senate has, again, a slightly higher level of 2.645 million in 24-25 and 2.762 million in the tails. And is that FTEs? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for additional FTEs on which are on line 1117.
And Mr. Chair and members, so just before I conclude with the last proposal, I just wanted to note, so that as Mr. Berg mentioned, for the Department of Management and Budget, that line item on 1111 is also for the youth substance, youth disorder and addiction recovery. It's a position for that purpose. So moving to the last proposal on line 1119. So this is funding for the Department of Employment and Economic Development. So this relates to the proposal I mentioned earlier, establishing HCBS Workforce Incentive Fund grants. So this funding would be provided for that same purpose but for direct care professional recruitment. And that's a total of it's included in the Senate position only and funded at at exactly $4 million in a one-time in fiscal year 24-25. And with that, Mr. Chair, that concludes our remarks, and happy to take any
thank you.
questions.
You know what, Mr. Raymond and Mr. Berg, thank you. This is exactly how you did it and the way you did it. And understanding, this is truly the essence of why we do what we do is it gets down to, here's how we're going to do it, right? And so thank you, too, for all your work and for doing this. And I think members and the rest of the the world, and even including the people looking online, because apparently there's like 8 people online watching us right now. Mr. David Baker, all the way from beautiful western Minnesota, and I'm glad you're following the tradition of the Senate and wearing a tie, and I also, even Matt Freeman put a tie on this morning, you guys, to come over here, so I appreciate that. Mr. Baker, you want to introduce yourself?
Mr. Chair, again, I want to apologize for my tardiness today. As I mentioned to you earlier, I was at some other things with a press conference with different things, but glad to be here, honored to be on the conference committee. Let's dig in here. Let's figure out how to help Minnesotans. And again, I appreciate all the work for everybody here. And again, the walkthrough that I did pick up was very helpful. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Baker. Thank you. So I think, thank you, you two. Thank you very much. Mr. Liam, Danielle, and Sarah, you guys up next and take us home. Members, any questions so far? Was that helpful? Got a thumbs up from the good senator from Anoka down there. We got Fisher. All right, we're good. Awesome. Welcome.
Mr. Chair, members, we've been asked to go through just portions of the language to try to explain some of the more significant differences in some of the budget proposals. We are going to be working off the side-by-side summaries, which are in your packets, tucked into your binders, into a pocket in your binders. And as I said, we're going to be fairly judicious in what we choose or what we've been directed to cover. So in Article 1, which is the Disability Services article, we're going to start with Section 24. This is a section related to homemaker services for people receiving people with disabilities as opposed to older adults. And the language in the bill on the Senate side directs the commissioner to establish the rate for people with disabilities receiving homemaker services at a rate equal to the rate established under EW. Currently, the rate is lower than the EW rate. What was next? Oh, I think Danielle was going to go next, right?
Mr. Chair and members, the next several sections of House and Senate language all relate to DWRS. The House and Senate both have proposals, although they're different. On the House side, the House is adding life-sharing services as an applicable service under DWRS. The House also modifies the DWRS base wage index, future inflationary adjustment timelines, and it bases the updates on more current wage data. The House also, for the standard component value, it modifies the future inflationary adjustment timeline, and then for the 2024 adjustment, it updates the data that will be based on. The House also requires reporting and analysis of cost data. It requires a certain amount of the revenue received through DWRS rates to be used for direct care staff compensation. And the House proposal makes a change to family residential services rates. It repeals the current rate calculation and requires the commissioner to set a rate for that service.
And Mr. Chair, members, the Senate position is does a number of different things. First, it removes respite services from the DWRS calculation, thereby establishing respite services for people receiving disability services at a market rate, and the House doesn't do that. With respect to the base wage index, the Senate also moves forward the next scheduled update 10 months, but it does not change the data that is used for inflationary adjustments. So the vast majority of the difference you saw in the spreadsheet between the two positions really boils down to what data set is used to establish the base wage under the disability waivers. With respect to the base wage indices by service, I'll mention that the Senate updates the positive support staffing base wages, as well as the employment exploration staff base wage, and makes some conforming changes related to respite services. With respect to the standard component values, like the House, the Senate moves forward by 10 months, the next scheduled update to the component values. But unlike the House, the Senate uses more recent inflation data beginning in 2026. Ms. Pinelli mentioned that the House has some staff compensation language that's new in their position. The Senate modified some existing staff compensation language to try to capture how the incremental increases in rates need to be distributed. But that's a different approach than the House approach, which doesn't deal with just the incremental change, it deals with the entire rate. The Senate also fully implements the competitive workforce factor, and the House does not. But because the House makes a change to the data that's used to establish the base wage, their total spend is larger than the House's, even though we include the full implementation of the competitive workforce factor, because of course the base that's applied to is smaller. And then finally, for the DWRS components, the Senate allowed for increased shared services for certain unit-based services, particularly individualized home supports with training. So that concludes the differences in the disability waiver space. Next, we'll move to the ICFDD rate changes. The House creates a daily operating rate floor for all ICFDDs equal to $260, and then includes a biennial inflation adjustment. The Senate, on the other hand, creates two different rate floors, $300 for a Class A facility, $400 for a Class B facility, and increases all facilities' rates by $50 a day, but doesn't include any future inflation adjustments.
Mr. Chair and members, next we're going to move to the differences between the House and the Senate on the PCA and CFSS rates, which is on page 24 of the side-by-side summary, if you're following along, starting with House Section 36. House Section 36, which is part of this whole PCA payment rate modification, updates the data used to establish the base wage index under the payment rate methodology for PCA and CFSS services, and the Senate does not do that because the House is modifying that data for which the base wage is set and the Senate doesn't. The resulting rates are quite different, despite the fact that the House and the Senate in Senate Section 47 and House Section 37 are making very similar changes to the implementation factors. And then the House and the Senate both add a worker retention component to this rate methodology, which is similar. However, the House and the Senate have different calculations for what that rate should be, but Mr. Monahan and I think that we need technical assistance from DHS for that they should actually be the same, that was the intention.
So, Ms. Pinelli, anytime we say that wonderful world of we need technical assistance, can I ask this, do you need one of us to ask that, or is that something that you all can ask for that piece from? Help me understand which is the right way to do this.
Mr. Chair, I think Mr. Monahan and I can ask for that technical assistance. We just wanted to flag it for members as something that needs to be fixed.
Sounds good. Thank you. Representative Newer, appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members, I wanted to point out Senate Section 49. This is the language related to the Senate's position with respect to customized living provided to recipients or participants in the BI or CADI waivers. This language, so that the customized living rates for BI and CADI are tied to the elderly waiver. This language increases the phase-in of the new rates under elderly waiver with respect to those two service lines. And this language interacts with language in Article 2 related to elderly waiver, such that the elderly waiver framework is increased, but then so is the percentage of the new framework rate that will go to these providers.
Mr. Chair and members, I believe the next thing we're going to talk about is home care services rate increases, which is on page 29 of the side-by-side summary, Senate Section 56 and House Section 58. The House is providing a 15.8% rate increase for home health services, home care nursing services, respiratory therapy, and home health agency services, while the Senate is providing a 55% rate increase for the same services, except that the rate increase for home health aid services is 14% in the Senate proposal.
And Mr. Chair, members, the last item we wanted to flag in this article is on page 30 of the side-by-side summary, Senate Section 59, related to the temporary grant for small customized living providers. They're similar, except that the Senate permits providers who have already transitioned to community residential settings licensure or integrated community supports licensure to be eligible for the grants and to use the funding to reimburse themselves for previously incurred expenses related to their license transition. So that concludes our remarks about disability services. And we can move on to aging services. The first one we wanted to flag for you is on page 2 of the side-by-side summary for Article 2, related to the Live Well at Home grants. The Senate includes a subdivision that the House does not, related to allowing previously successful grantees to apply for additional funding in subsequent grant cycles.
Mr. Chair and members, the next item we wanted to point out in Article 2 is on page 7 of the side-by-side summary. It is the rate adjustment for the nursing facility in Red Wing. It's Senate Section 16 and House Section 10. Both the House and the Senate modify the operating payment rate for a specific nursing facility located in Red Wing. However, the House makes this rate adjustment expire on June 30th, 2025, and the Senate has it as a permanent rate adjustment. Mr. Chair and members, the next item that we were going to go through is on page 9 of the Article 2 side-by-side summary. It relates to the House and Senate elderly waiver proposals. On the House side, the House is requiring an evaluation of rate setting, cost reporting, and includes a spending requirement that a certain portion of the revenue from EW go toward employee compensation. The House also repeals the elderly waiver rate phase-in as of January 1st, 2024, and establishes a floor for the elderly waiver adjusted base wage of $16.96.
Mr. Chair, members, the Senate has a number of different proposals within its EW position. The first is to establish parity in the CDCS program for those receiving elderly waiver services. The second is to include inflationary adjustments to the EW framework. The third is to make updates to the framework itself, including new variables and new factors that are used to calculate the rates for particular services. And these updates are primarily drawn from a 2019 study that was conducted on the elderly waiver. Fourthly, the Senate adjusts the phase-in, whereas the House completely eliminates the phase-in. The Senate increases the proportion of the new rates that are used to calculate the final rates. Fifth, with respect to homemaker rates, the Senate fully phases in the new elderly waiver framework rates, so that's an exception to the adjustment to the phase-in I mentioned just a moment ago. It also includes an inflation adjustment for the homemaker rates. And this ties back to what I mentioned earlier about people receiving disability services. Their homemaker rates would be the same as those established here. And with respect to home-delivered meals, the Senate sets a rate at $8.17 and then requires the commissioner to update that amount annually.
Mr. Chair and members, the next section that we were going to go through is on page 15 of the side-by-side summary. It's related to nursing facility funding grants. It's Senate Section 50 and House Article 8, Section 7. The Senate is providing a temporary rate add-on to all nursing facilities and establishes a spending requirement for facilities to use 80% of the revenue from the add-on to increase compensation-related costs for employees. And the House creates a one-time pool of grant funding for nursing facilities to apply to the commissioner to receive.
And Mr. Chair, members, that's the end of Article 2. And we're just going to touch on one portion of Senate Article 3, Healthcare. Some sections from House Article 1 were pulled in to match sections in this article. So on page 2 of the healthcare side-by-side summary, Senate sections 3 and 4 are similar in many respects, but in section 4, the Senate eliminates the MA EPD premium and asset limits, and the House does not. And the Senate authorizes MA to pay the Medicare Part A and Part B premiums for MA EPD enrollees who are eligible for Medicare, and the House does not. That concludes Article 3.
And Mr. Chair and members, I will be going through a few sections of Senate Article 4, House Article 3, Behavioral Health. Most of this article is either similar with technical differences, or House or Senate only. So skipping to Section 8 on page 3 of the side-by-side summary. These are similar sections modifying comprehensive assessment requirements. The Senate includes an exception for determining when someone has a co-occurring disorder, when a comprehensive assessment has been completed as part of a diagnostic assessment. That requirement does not apply. The House does not include that exception. The House also includes a risk rating and summary to support the risk rating, and the Senate does not. Skipping now to section 23, which is on page 8 of the side-by-side summary. These sections are mostly the same with some technical differences, except that the House adds paragraph I, which specifies that payment for SUD services listed in this section begins on the date of service initiation when a comprehensive is completed on time, and the Senate does not include that paragraph. Moving now to section 25 on page 10. These are both sections that establish evidence-based training. The Senate codifies this section and specifies ongoing training and funding, and the House does not. The House also includes providers licensed under Chapter 245G and licensed by tribes, but the Senate only includes providers licensed under 245F. And let's see. The next section that is slightly different is section 38 on page 12. Again, there's a difference between the House codifies this grant program, the Senate does not, and then the House specifies programs licensed under Chapter 245F and the Senate does not, but that is a minor difference. And then the repealer, the last section on page 14, is slightly different, but staff will work with the agency to reconcile the differences there. Moving to the next article, this is Senate Article 5, Substance Use Disorder, and House Article 4, which relates to opioid epidemic response. Again, most of these are either the same or House or Senate only. The main difference, well, we've got on page 4, section 7. Again, a difference in which body codifies this, but the Senate also adds paragraph E for naloxone training grant funds, and the House does not here. And the House specifically allows grant funds to be used to provide safe injection kits and safe smoking kits, while the Senate does not. Moving to page 5, section 10, and then on page 6, section 13 of both bills. So they both move appropriations from session law to statute, but both do it differently. The department and fiscal staff will need to work to reconcile these, but they both are they have the same goals, but do it differently. And I believe that concludes this article. Moving now to the opioid prescribing improvement program article. This is Senate Article 6, House Article 5. I will talk about the House side. These both modify the opioid prescribing improvement program, but quite differently. The House adds an additional purpose for the opioid prescribing improvement program, and then in Section 2 modifies the definition of opioid disenrollment standards. It inserts MA sanctions instead of disenrollment from public health care programs for a provider that would violate the program requirements. In Section 4 of this section, of this article, the House makes several changes to the program implementation subdivision. So it requires the quality improvement program to be designed to support patient-centered care, consistent with community standards, and includes language about discouraging unsafe tapering practices and patient abandonment by providers. The section also modifies requirements for provider quality improvement plans, requires prescribers treating patients who are on chronic high doses of opioids to meet community standards of care.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I'm lost.
Senator Baker.
Well, not senator, but close.
Sorry, I'm so used to.
I know
seeing
you
it,
are.
You know.
And I lost, where are we at right now? I lost the page in the article.
Oh,
We
you're
are-
good. Go ahead, Sarah, you want to go ahead and say?
We are on the side-by-side summary, we are in Senate Article 6, House Article 5. This is the opioid prescribing improvement program article.
Are we missing that one?
Mr. Chair, it seems some of us are missing the article on the opioid.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that intentional on this side of the table, or what's going on?
Yeah, I love it, yeah. I purposely,
I'm sure you did.
Here, David, you
We'll
know
get a
what?
copy, that's fine, thank you.
Take that one down there. Do you got anybody else want to share one? I don't know how that, well, you know what, not bad, an error of something is
No,
okay.
that's okay,
you know,
thank
we're
you. I just
good.
want to make sure I wasn't missing
I'm
something.
glad, no, you're good. Do
Thank
you
you.
also have, folks, I suppose I should have asked that at the very beginning, does everybody also have the Article 6, 7, and 8 as well? You got, so the only one missing is, I just gave 2 copies down, 6 and 5, all right?
I'm good, thank you, that helps.
All right, thank you for bringing that up, I appreciate that. Ms. Sunderman, keep going.
So now we're on page 3 of the side-by-side summary for this article. The House also requires the commissioner to dismiss a prescriber from the prescribing quality improvement program when the prescriber demonstrates that their practices are patient-centered and reflect community standards. And then finally, in this section, it allows the commissioner to investigate providers whose prescribing practices fall within the applicable sanction standards. So this is sort of an investigation with possible sanctions under, existing sanctions under MA versus the current state of affairs, which is a provider termination and disenrollment for violations. Section 5 on the House side provides a waiver for certain provider groups who are employed by or affiliated with, for certain providers who are affiliated with provider groups who've received a waiver from DHS. And it requires the commissioner to develop waiver criteria and make waivers available by July 1st, 2023. And then it further specifies the factors that the commissioner must consider when developing the waivers. And finally, the House in Section 6, which is page 4 of the side-by-side summary, directs the commissioner to recommend criteria to provide for a sunset for the OPIP program and to submit the recommendations to the legislature by January 15th, 2024. And now Mr. Monahan will go through what the Senate does on this program.
Mr. Chair, members, the Senate makes mostly some technical changes in various parts of this this article and to this program. I'll mention that In Senate Section 2, it exempts opioids prescribed to palliative care patients from the opioid prescribing protocols. It modifies the requirement that the commissioner take certain steps if an opioid prescriber's prescribing practices do not improve after a year following notification by the commissioner. That's in Section 3. And the big difference is Senate Section 4, which repeals the opioid prescribing improvement program effective June 30th, 2024. And that concludes Senate Article 6, House Article 5. We don't have anything to discuss in the remaining articles.
Thank you. Ms. Sunderman, Ms. Pinelli, and Mr. Monahan, thank you so much. Members, do you have any questions for this trifecta of, or triangulation, or triangular, what's the correct word you could use? The three, how about if I just say this? Triumvirate, is that it? Any questions for our analysts? Thank you. Anybody? Anyone? Ferris, Bueller? Thank you. You know what? Thank you so much. What's really awesome to see, if I can use that term, is how you really looked at the comparison, and then from a staff perspective, and I'm going to go back to 10 years ago when there was there was a couple of you guys that were in the House, and there was only one of us in the Senate that was on this DWRS system, and it was trying to align. You ever been in your kitchen and you open up your kitchen cupboards and your beans are over here and your corn is over here? Well, you want to line those up so everything is, and that's what we did here. And seeing that just really puts that into perspective. I don't know why I was triggered with that story from 10 years ago, but I had to bring it up anyway. So thank you for aligning our corns up, and let's try to focus forward on that. Thank you, you three. I'd like to get Ms. Bailey down here because there was some crossover conversations, and maybe she could just join, or if you want to, if there aren't any questions. Senator Abler has a question.
Well, while she's coming, Mr. Chair, I'll just offer a comment, because we're going to have to quit pretty soon. But I
know, so Elise can come down.
While she's walking.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of celebrate the moment that I see an interest in the part of both the House and the Senate, where there's a more agreement coming together on the importance and the needs and the whole long-term care sectors where it's increasingly unstable, and I think we're way ahead of last year, and I'm looking forward to finding a really good resolution about that. So thank you.
Thank you for your observations. I'm just going to look down. Senator, Representative Newer, you good at something?
You don't want to be demoted, Mr. Chair.
Oh, ouch. Did you hear that, Miss Bailey?
I did not.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
Somebody picked it up out there on the Twitter field land. So looking at just this, and thank you for being part of this whole process of getting things. There's some crossover items. There's some crossover lists of stuff. And the reason why, and I'm going to quote a former senator from the Mankato area, you should talk about get the essence of what's in front of you, right? That would be Kathy Sharon. She used to say that all the time. And in order to know what you know, you need to understand what's in front of you. And I think you had shared with us just that piece, that there's some crossover lists, because in one hand, the other body, because I'm not allowed to say the House. Oh, I just said it. The House.
Mr. Chair, I think using the other body sometimes may trigger people, so we're the House.
Okay. I know Newer for years, and so it's absolutely, this is going to be joyful for us to really work on things because our common interests are there, and it's really, and some expertise here. And I'm looking at Fisher and Baker over there, and I can't wait to get in the conversations of behavioral health stuff. So the thing that you shared some crossover stuff, and if just your observation of what you're seeing there from, where do things align up, where do things fit your memory bank of knowledge in the fiscal world that you live in would be very helpful for us. So thank you.
Sure, Mr. Chair. For the record, Elise Bailey, Budget Director for the Department of Human Services. And yes, I mean, as nonpartisan staff went over the spreadsheet and the side-by-sides, I think both bodies, per se, have quite a bit of investment in the same areas, and that's a good thing. A lot of investment in services provided to older adults and people with disabilities. And many of those investments do it in a different way. And so I think the object of what this committee will have to grapple with is how to kind of merge those ideas and decide on a final way to get to the end goal. But I don't know, Chair, if you have specific questions about where there's crossover or differences, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, there's this whole sheet that, and Representative Newer and I are kind of looking at. There was a rates crossover piece, right? And, you know, if we would have been given the targets that we really needed at the very beginning of the year, I'm going to just get on my soapbox for 2 minutes here, then we wouldn't be having this, ooh, can we go over here or cross go over here? Where does this, because ultimately, you know, when you look at thematically where Representative Newer and I had talked about, you know we have an issue with rates. There's a desire to get us to $20 an hour. And I'm just throwing that out there because you had given this example of, you know, what would it cost within the caregivers? And I'm grouping all the caregivers into one just for this conversation. And in order to get to $20 an hour, you got to come up with a $4 billion investment, right? And so, you know, as we look at that, what does that mean? And then you had put together, and Representative Newer is pulling this up, just that the governor, House, and Senate, the everything that goes across, the percentages in the piece, and so your assessment of, you know, we're there on it is there. But I just wanted to let people know that this was something that was common. If there's anything in addition that we should be having, or if there's another observation that it should be noted, that's where I wanted to go with this conversation. And I don't know if this was shared. Do you know, Representative Newer, the differences that was just for our conversation in here? And as we talk about things that are different, like, for example, you know, he's at 15.8, I'm at 55%, right? And you look at that and you go, whew, that's a noticeable difference. There's a but factor, and when you look at the crossover, other services are being provided in other buckets within our bailiwick, right? And so I think having that knowledge is, if we don't lose aspect on this, and if you truly are covering it someplace else, then so be it, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we're doing what our mission and vision is as to the folks that really deserve and need our services, right? And so that's kind of where I wanted to go down the fiscal conversation on that. Does that make sense?
Sure, Mr. Chair. I can point out some specific areas where that occurs, and for tomorrow's hearing, I'd be happy to provide this to be posted for the public. But some specific areas, for instance, in the House, there's a big investment in the elderly waiver. And within that, actually, it impacts customized living under the disability waivers, whereas in the Senate, you have that on 2 line items in your spreadsheet.
Yep.
Another example of that is in the House, there's other HCBS rate increases. But within that, you include home care.
Yep.
Whereas in the Senate, again, it's on a specific line within the home care. Then in the Senate, you're increasing rates for homemaker, but that also is included within 2 lines in the Senate spreadsheet, where you're changing the rates for elderly waiver at the same time, also pulling out the homemaker services and doing a rate increase on top of that. Yep. So that's kind of what this spreadsheet is highlighting, where areas where we kind of have to break down where the rate increases occur in each body, and sometimes in multiple lines on the spreadsheet, and kind of dig into where you want to land. So.
And I think that really, thank you, Ms. Bailey, that gets to that whole perplexity of understanding, yeah, but we're doing this, so what does it look like? And I think if you can share whatever your thoughts are, and I don't know how our committee administrators share it, because I can't even turn my computer on half the time, or I mess up. I tried to do a video here. I think it should be simple. Just click on the video and it would show up there, because, I wanted to do that as the first day. So here's the first day of having this, gavel months ago. Couldn't even get that right, And since there are no Radio Shacks left in the world, I couldn't say, you remember you remember that? It would say, you got questions, we got answers. I was going to, do you remember that commercial? I was going to do that. But if there's a way that you could share this, because this really helps us understand all of what we're doing is somewhere along our conversation vein, and it's just a matter of us trying to figure out how we pull that out. Does that make sense to you guys, people? All right. So it is 11 o'clock. We were right on time, aren't we? Any questions about tomorrow, Senator Abler? Representative Noor, talk to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this investment, as Representative Abler and also Chair Hoffman stated, Senator, you used to be a representative, sorry. They demoted you, so sorry for that. Technically, this is one of the most significant investment. It's a historic investment. It's a generational investment. $2.85 billion increase in the investment in long-term care, disability, addressing the opioid crisis. This is significant. I know we'll have more conversation tomorrow. Tomorrow is the People's Day. Those who in the public who want to provide their comment. We want everyone who wants to join us tomorrow as we take the gavel to allow the public to testify. That will be a day. And I think we'll be led by the commissioner so that we have the understanding from the administration perspective, followed by the public. Please make sure that you send your registration. 5 p.m. today is the deadline for anyone who wants to testify. And with that, I just wanted to thank every member here and also the staff for their amazing work. We could not have done this without the support of the staff. This is a significant, issue, and hopefully we'll get into it tomorrow when we hear from the public.
Mr. Chair.
Former Representative Senator Abler.
Thank you, and I appreciate that, and thank you, Representative Noor. There's some topics that bring out more testifiers and others on one point, so if we could, on some of those, if they could, like 14C, if each side could agree that they're going to have, 2 or 3 or 4 people on each side, I think that'll help. And I don't know what other comments are serious, as many as that, but I would appreciate that as a listener. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Abel. I think from the House perspective, we give everyone the opportunity to speak. We give them 2 minutes to speak their point. It doesn't mean that we pick up all the points. We want the public to be part of this process, so we don't want to limit. We just want to encourage people to participate in the process, and if we can't pick up everybody, it will be limited to the time that we have. So by 11 p.m., we should be done tomorrow. Same time. 11 a.m. Sorry.
Did you just hear that? He said 11 p.m. Thank you. Thank you, Omar, for, what the heck? Is this what you...
Mr. Chair, every night we live after midnight in the House, every night. So that means we're used to that.
When you were first elected, I would go home and it would hurry up because the deliberative body, the Senate, would get done at a reasonable time. And we would go home and I would watch you guys debate on the House floor just so we could did we see Noor? Did we see Abler? Did we see Baker? Did we see Fisher? My sister-in-law, Yvonne Seltzer, we would do that. You guys would go all night long. It was just and now you're doing midnight, so that's good to see.
Mr. Chair, if we can negotiate with Representative Baker, hopefully we can go home early tonight.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. We are adjourned until tomorrow.